Now, there we go. Under pressure. Lots of people go, oh yes, just 2 notes is easy, I can do that. The consistency with which that is played has to be absolutely right every time. It is very exposed, it's at the top end of the bass range. And those 16th notes there, they have to be really, really precise in order that the whole thing fits rhythmically. Now, what you can do is to practice those slowly is to tap 8th notes. Now, the reason I say to tap rather than using a drum machine is that actually it means that you are working as a complete sort of entity rather than relying on an external sort of rhythm to help you through with those 16ths. It also means that you are more able to judge how those 16ths fit in a constant row of 8th notes. It has more impact if the riff did this. This gives it a lot of movement and a lot of sort of rhythmic clout. So the notes, we've got a top D, which I use my last finger for, which is 7th fret G string, and then an A, which is 7th fret on the D string. And I use 2 different fingers here because I can easily mute one note when I've finished with the previous one. Now, with this, you have to make sure that you practice it by starting on the same finger here. Otherwise, you're essentially learning 2 lines at the same time. You're doing twice the work if you are not consistent with your right hand. So, if I do middle finger, or you could use your index finger. Actually, for me, the index finger start works a little bit better. However, we've got 2 different sounds here. And generally speaking, your middle finger, because it's slightly larger, would have a little bit more impact, a little bit louder than the index finger would be, which is kind of what you want. So really, I need to be learning this the other way around, not index finger, but middle finger. And it might seem a really easy riff, but when you play it 24 times or however many times it is on that record, every single one has got to be spot on. This was from an era before cutting and pasting or, anything like that. We're using tape recorders here. These things here will take down every single nuance of what you do, and if there's something slightly wrong, you can't hide. So it's worth getting this right. And if you stay within your comfort zone when you're practicing this, you'll get very good at it very quickly. Don't try and rush up to tempo in one practice session. Just down tools, cup of tea, or next day come back and try and reproduce what you did the previous day. And then, a few days down the line, when you've just played it for a while, you'll find that those 16th notes become more natural. They become more incidental in the grand scheme rather than the thing that you're scared of. They become sort of a reaction to the strong 8th notes. Now, at the end of that note, I slap the string. Don't really want that. I don't want too much surface noise, especially when it's exposed like that at the start of that tune. You can still stop the string with this finger, but if you also let it go with this hand, you can get a really clean ending rather than, which is a little bit slappy. And there you have it. There's your Under Pressure bass riff. Very, very simple, but deceptively difficult unless you really take those careful steps to get it.